girls, this is your notes for 5A, expanding expressions. All of this is a revision of your 9, really, 8 and 9. So here we go. A says -3 bracket x minus 5. And these brackets mean multiply. And so I do this kind of little thing here. And I go, okay, well, that's equal to -3 times x, or -3x. And this is equal to -3 times -5. Whatever sign is in front of the number belongs to that sign. So that's going to be plus 15. Remember that when you multiply two numbers that have the same sign, it turns into a positive. Okay, B has an x out there, so it's a little bit different. 2x times 1 minus x. So when I expand it, I get 2x times 1, so that's 2x. And 2x times -x is -2x squared. X times x is x squared. Okay, on C, there's a fraction. Remember that when you're multiplying by a fraction, you're actually multiplying the numerator by whatever's in there. So in your brain, you're thinking, okay, this is what I have. Inside there, I have 2 on 7 times 14x on 1 plus 2 on 7 times 3 on 1. So that gives me 7 goes in here 1, 7 goes in there 2. That gives me 4x, because I get 4 on 1. When you have a fraction, you multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, plus, there's no crossing out here. Nothing crosses out. So I do 2 times 3 is 6 on 7. That's my answer for C. Okay, I'll do D right under here. D has two parts, and it's quite difficult when you do these to do them correctly. So that times that gives me 2x squared minus x. Now be really careful. That negative belongs to that x. So it's -x times 3. -x times -x. And then I try to combine like terms. So these both have a square, so I can combine them to 3x squared. And the x's can be combined to -4x. So that's the answer for D. Okay, so sometimes we're asked to expand binomials, and I know you did this in your 9, but maybe you don't remember. I usually call this FOIL, or first, outer, inner, last. Or you can just think of it like this, that when I multiply this x, I multiply it by both of these. That's the first two terms and the outer terms. So that gives me 2x squared, and that times that gives me plus x. Now I'm going to do the -5 times both of these. That's the inners and the last. So that's -10x minus 5. I can usually combine these middle terms, not all the time, but usually I can. So I need to look for combining. Make sure you can get that answer. Now, when I square a binomial, I do that. I can memorize a formula, and we might talk about the formula later. But for right now, let's just say that we're going to write the binomial twice, because squaring means multiplying something by itself. And then I'm going to use that method where I do this times both of these. So x squared plus 7x, and 7 times both of these, plus 7x plus 49. And you can probably see what that formula is going to be. I don't know, maybe you can see that when you square a binomial, you end up getting the square of the first and the square of the second. It's about this thing. What is that? That's what you have to know. All right. Look, what happens here? I have two terms that are almost the same, except they are what's called conjugates of each other. So one is a plus and one is a minus. So let's see what happens. I do this. I get x squared minus 6x. And when I do this one, I get plus 6x minus 36. And these two end up dropping out. When I do this, when I multiply these two things together, these conjugates, I'll write that word down. Okay, and all that means is that one is x plus 6 and the other one is x minus 6. So the only thing that differs in the two terms is the sign. There's always a plus and a minus, or a minus and a plus. What happens is these middles always drop out. So I end up getting the difference in other words, subtraction of 2 perfect squares. So x squared is a perfect square, and 36 is 6 squared. So it's the difference of 2 perfect squares. Okay, and last but not least, we have some hard ones here. And I'm going to pause for a minute. I want you to try these and then come back. All right, so I've done those 2. I hope that you got the same thing that I got. It's just a little bit chunkier. This 2, I expanded into the first term first, and then I multiplied the 2 terms. This 2 does not go to both of these, it just goes to the first one. Okay, and the last one is the hardest one. So the last one, I'm going to go super fast, but it's x plus 2 times x plus 4, and then minus x minus 2 times x minus 5. Now this sign right here is a big, big, big deal. I'm going to do it in a really light color, but that's a big deal, that negative sign. So I'm going to expand this. This gives me x squared plus 4x plus 2x plus 8, which is x squared plus 6x plus 8. This minus sign is still here. I need to use a big set of brackets here and a big set of brackets. Well, I might not need to use that there. I might just get rid of that for a minute. Okay, let's try this. This gives me, I'm going to keep that minus there, and this gives me here x squared minus 5x minus 2x plus 10. Now, I'm going to put that minus, no, I won't, I'll leave it there for a minute. X squared minus 7x plus 10. Now, I have to put that negative all the way through there and change every sign in there. So it's going to be x squared plus 6x plus 8. These are all equals, equals, equals. Minus x squared plus 7x. I'm changing all these signs because there's a negative outside. Minus 10. So those are gone. And I get 13x minus 2. And that's the answer to that question. These are important. Okay, there's all the problems for this section. I'm going to turn this off now because you can pause if you need to.